Shalom. All praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem HaKadosh. Double honors unto the apostles and elders of GMS, who are the true leaders of Israel today. And salutations to all of the Akim who do this work in truth and sincerity, who are risking their lives and their freedoms to do so, as well as the scattered Israelites who come looking like the heathen, but are not, by way of their forefathers' seeds who are Israelite men. The true name of the Most High is Yahweh, and his son's name is Yahushai, and the Lord's holy chosen people are the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, as we're the ones who suffer under the curses in the book of Deuteronomy. My name is Akalia, and I'm from the GMS Jamaica Kingston camp, and this video is about the Mark of the Beast prophecy, which is the microchip. Alright, so, this video is really about this article right here that I found on payments.com, PYMNTS, and it says digital IDs and biometrics promise future of wallet-to-wallet transaction security. All right. Now, the title alone, if you are aware of the prophecy of the Mark of the Beast, the title alone would pique your interest, right? Because the Spirit has revealed that the Mark of the Beast is the microchip. And in Revelation chapter 13 and verse 16, it says, "And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. And that mark is the microchip, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name." All right, so this mark of the beast has to do with buying and selling. It also mentions it being placed in the right hand or in the foreheads. All right, so we know about the technology where you have the microchip technology that is implanted into the hand, and it is used in Sweden and also by individuals in various other parts in Europe, and also in the UK. They use the implanted microchip to make payments. All right, all of the machines in the UK facilitate microchip payment transactions, right? And then for the forehead, we've learned about in recent years the brain microchip that is supposed to do all of these kinds of miraculous things as is advertised by the makers of them. All right, so we know the microchip is the mark of the beast. The buying and selling portion is that payment portion, right? You're going to need to have the microchip to function in the society that is being brought forth by the wicked elite of Esau, Edom, who are the so-called white people that rule the world today, right? It is their ruling class. It's a part of their NWO agenda. It is at the apex of it, right? That microchip. And so with this microchip and the system that's coming in, we know that based off of it being the microchip, we know that it's going to be a digital payment system. That's why you see, your life right now in regards to making payments. It is mostly a cashless kind of situation that you're in right now. All right, I'm in it as well. Most people are in it. And so they're moving towards a cashless society. There's a reason why they're building these central bank digital currencies, which, as the name suggests, is a digital currency, because they're moving towards digital payments. And those digital payments will be stored onto that microchip. And the microchip is then used like your credit card, but instead it will be inserted within the body. Right, so you have these central bank digital currencies, but then they also have these digital identification systems that are being put in place, which will be merged with your banking information, and your financials is going to be merged with your central bank digital currency. And that is proof is shown, or that proof is shown rather, here, the World Economic Forum, right, in regards to what they want to do with the digital identity that is currently spreading around the entire world. And it is going to spread around the entire world, because every single world is working on their digital identification systems and their central bank digital currencies. Every single country, because every single country is moving towards this NWO, and every single country is moving towards this microchip. All right, because in Revelation chapter 3 and verse 10, it says that you shall face the hour of temptation, which shall come upon the entire world. So it's the entire world that will be afflicted with this microchip situation, right? Where unless you have the microchip, you won't be able to survive in society, right? And then you can see just very quickly right here the digital identity, and it shows all of these things that will be stored on your digital identity. And your digital identity is meant to connect entities, devices, people, and things, because it's going to be that all for one use. That's what the microchip is going to be. And so that's why they're consolidating all of your information, everything about your life, onto these digital identities, including already it's showing that it wants to include your financial services, right? But since it's going to, the financial services that are going to be included on it, they needed to then develop a digital payment system to go along with this digital ID with the digital bank account stored on it, right? Because they're doing away with the previous system. So that's the situation that we're in right now. Okay. So that's why, as I mentioned at the beginning, when it is that you see, if you're in the know, right, which is the Lord blessing you with the Spirit to be able to see this prophecy, then when you see a title like this, Digital IDs and Biometrics Promise Future of Wallet-to-Wallet Transaction Security, automatically you're like, let's see. Okay, so it says the interlinked future of digital identity and biometrics is already starting to transform payments. And why is your biometrics included in your digital identity? Well, it's because it's a part of who you are, right? And already they do take your biometrics. I know that I have a passport. I recently received my Canadian visa. I've had my American visa since birth, you know. But the point of it is that when I had to when I had the meetings for the Canadian visa, it required my biometrics, and it was the same thing for the American visa. They always require your biometrics. All right. So it's a part of the entire system, because it's your biometrics determine who you are, right? Because they say that, like your fingerprint, no two humans have the same fingerprint as the other. So once your biometrics, your eye scan, your all everything that is about you, then your identity cannot be mistaken. So that's why it has to be a part of your digital identity, right? Okay. As digital wallets increasingly gain traction, the security features driving their use are emerging as components shaping the future of both commerce and authentication. With the European Union's EIDAS 2.0 Electronic Identification, Authentication and Trust Services Regulation 2026 compliance deadline approaching, using the intersection of digital ID and biometrics to provide enhanced security, improved user experiences, and greater fraud prevention is top of mind for the payments industry. Okay, MasterCard announced Thursday, June 6, its first biometric checkout program in Europe, a Face and Iris Iris payment pilot in Poland that the company described as buy with your eyes, pay with your glance. And this is where they're heading towards. And this is what's already actually occurring in various parts around the world, right? Because what they're doing is they're literally just bringing in the system. And over time, people just get used to this new way of being. And it's not all just brought to you all in one go. It happens gradually over time. So people just naturally, as life progresses, they just get used to these new systems and they adapt to these new systems, right? And then eventually what it's going to do is it's going to get to the point where the microchip is going to be that next step. That's where it's heading towards. All right. But all of these things must be put in place. Okay. Everything that I've read right here is a part of the entire system that's coming in. It's a part of the Mark of the Beast system. Okay. And what is the Mark of the Beast system? If you may be wondering, the Mark of the Beast system entails everything that has to do with the microchip itself. All of the systems put in place. I mean, it's not just like a microchip and it's just by itself. It has a whole bunch of systems put in place in order for it to function and for it to work, right? So all of that goes hand in hand with it, right? This devil really has a lot to do, and that's why it's taking so long. Well, you know. But in 2017, one of their top devils, the same representative for the WEF that is the one that is pushing these ideologies to the rest of the world, and you know, it is happening for sure. It's not just an ideology, but it is an ideology that is coming to fruition. He said that the world will be microchipped, or rather, Salakio, people will have brain microchips within 10 years. And so that 10 years would be 2027, and now we're in 2024. What that shows you is that they have their agenda, and they had a time period, or they have a time period in mind. So they were like, in 10 years, hopefully we get to this point. So it's like 3 more years before it's that 2017, that 10-year point that he was talking about. So it's all very, very close. And that's why we're seeing all of these systems. Okay. Biometric authentication relies on unique biological characteristics like fingerprints, palm veins, facial recognition, or iris scans, and offers a high level of security by ensuring that only the rightful owner of a biometric signature can access certain services or authorize transactions. Right. Right. So that's why, yeah, I mean, of course, right? A part of the system is being able to identify every single slave perfectly. So you must have their biometrics, right? When combined with digital IDs, which provide a secure and verifiable way to identify individuals online, right? So the system is just going to be an all for one online system, a huge database for all the people in the world, and they're just going to have their digital identity attached to that, right? Individuals online, the security of biometrics is further strengthened. Observers say the integration of biometric authentication and digital IDs could result in a fundamental rethink of how authentication and transaction security are approached, and ultimately help unlock the next generational potential of the digital connected economy. So you see, it's all about that next economy that is coming, because we're in the current economy, but the next economy is going to be that digital economy, the fourth industrial revolution, right? That's really what it is as well. You can call it that as well, right? A completely digital payment system, a completely digital way to live. And Esau Edom has shown us this many, many times. You know, this entire situation right here, this article, is very Minority Report starring Tom Cruise, right? It's very Minority Report, and that's where they're heading towards. Okay, the interlinked future of biometric payments and digital IDs. Digital IDs simplify identity verification across various services, including banking, government services, and travel, which all of these are going to be included. I mean, it shows you, right? The same thing. The digital identity by the WEF includes the travel, there it is, and the government services. So everything is connected to it. Once again, unless it's going to get to the point, unless you have the microchip, you can't buy food, you can't travel, you can't take a bus, you can't take a taxi, you can't go anywhere. You won't have access to government services, you won't have access to medical services, you won't have access to anything unless you have your digital ID, unless you're on the system, and it's going to all be eventually unless you have that microchip. Okay? Users no longer need to carry multiple forms of identification. A single digit ID in a digital wallet can suffice. So see, they're already marrying the two, the digital ID in a digital wallet. They go hand in hand. So it's all about now just transferring the information onto the microchip. When this digital ID is linked to biometric data, the verification process becomes even more seamless and efficient, allowing users to access services with minimal friction. All right, and that's where I'm going to stop right there for this article, because it's rather long. And yeah, man, I mean, this is really the system just coming in place. It's showing you right there. You know, eventually it's going to come to the time where it's like, yo, that's the microchip. But, you know, I mean, I don't know however it's going to play out, but I'm just guessing, speaking as a man, we're going to be in the time of the famine of the word. By the time, like, you know, that microchip is made mandatory, you know what I'm saying? Lord knows what will be going on during that time. Of course, Jacob's trouble and all of that. So the prophets of Yahweh Shemishai will most likely be you know, afflicted, but safe, you know. But anyways, yeah, man, this is what it is. This is the system itself. This is Luke chapter 10 and verse 24, as I was talking about, you know, the prophets and also the elect do receive this blessing as well. For I tell you that many prophets and kings have desired to see those things which ye see and have not seen them, and to hear those things which ye hear and have not heard them. And that's the situation that we're in. We're seeing the downfall of the Edomites finally, you know, after all this time, you know, after being subject to them, you know, we're heading we're seeing the downfall of their kingdom, which includes the prophecies coming to pass, and then the prophecies themselves coming to pass. That's what all of the prophets have looked forward to. In the book of Matthew, the prophets asked Yahushai, when shall these things be? And then Yahushai let the prophets know that you shall see these signs. And we are seeing them literally right now in this very moment in time. And it's very exciting to see. And yeah, this is just another day. And there will be many more days. But the unraveling of the prophecies is very exciting to see the Most High story, you know. But yeah, man. With that, I'd like to say all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh Shemishai, Bashman Kodesh, and Shalom.